The rain tapped gently against the window pane like a nervous visitor. In the dim light of the apartment, Amaka stood barefoot, her silk nightgown clinging to her slender frame, her fingers wrapped around a cup of lukewarm coffee she hadn't touched. Outside, the Lagos skyline blurred behind a curtain of rain. It was quiet. Too quiet. Her phone vibrated on the table again. Femi, 8 missed calls. She didn't need to pick it up. She already knew what he would say. Amaka, I'm sorry, it was just a mistake, she meant nothing to me. Mistakes had lips now. Mistakes wore red lipstick and posted selfies from his bed. Amaka turned away from the window, the taste of betrayal still fresh in her mouth. A year ago, Femi had promised forever. He had kissed her hand in front of her mother and sworn with the sincerity of a pastor at an altar. But promises, she had learned, were made of paper. And paper burned. Her eyes drifted to the old piano in the corner. Her father's piano. The one thing she'd taken when she moved out after his funeral. Her fingers hovered above the keys, then dropped, playing a slow, melancholic tune that matched her mood. Then the doorbell rang. She frowned. It was 10:17 p.m. Who could it be? She approached the door cautiously and peeked through the peephole. The face on the other side made her heart stumble. Chike. The last person she expected or wanted to see. She opened the door, and there he was, soaked from the rain, breathing heavily like he had run all the way. You're wet, she said, crossing her arms. Her voice was colder than she intended. I had to see you, he replied, brushing water from his brow. I know it's late. What do you want, Chike? To return something. He reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a tiny, rusted key. She recognized it immediately. It was the key to the locker in the art studio where they used to hide little notes, old sketches, and sometimes, each other. I found it yesterday, he said. And I thought of you. Amaka looked at the key, then back at Chike. His beard was fuller, his shoulders broader. Time had been kind to him. Cruel, perhaps, but kind. You didn't have to come all the way here to return it, she said softly. I know, he replied. But I was hoping you'd let me in, just for a moment. Against better judgment, or maybe because she wanted to feel something other than sorrow, she stepped aside. He entered quietly, like a memory creeping in through an unlocked window. The silence between them was thick. It wasn't awkward, just unfinished. Nice place, he said, looking around. Very you. Thanks. She sat on the edge of the sofa, her arms still crossed. So, what really brought you here, Chike? He exhaled, sitting opposite her. I saw your picture on Instagram. The one from last week. You looked sad. Amaka blinked. She remembered that picture. She'd captioned it, "Healing is not linear," with a fake smile. It had been a scream disguised as a whisper. You can't just show up because I looked sad, she said. I didn't come to fix you, he said quickly. I know I lost that right the day I left. 3 years ago, they'd had a love so bright it could blind you. They had met in NYSC camp in Enugu, and from there, they were inseparable. They had plans to move to Cape Town together, start an art cafe, paint, love, and live. But Chike got cold feet. His family didn't approve of her. He walked away the night before their flight. She remembered the airport. The pain. The unanswered text. I was angry for a long time, Amaka admitted. I hated you, Chike. I hated me too, he said. A small smile tugged at her lips. That's fair. Then came silence again. But this time, it wasn't so heavy. Chike stood and walked toward the piano. You still play? A little, she said. He touched the key, and it let out a soft note. Then another. And another. She stood and moved beside him, brushing his arm. Their hands, once so familiar, hovered side by side on the ivory keys. Do you remember that night at the art festival, she asked. The rooftop one. Of course. You wore that crazy orange dress. And you kissed me, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. It was raining then too. He turned to face her, eyes dark, warm, and intense. That was the last time I felt like I belonged anywhere. A lump formed in her throat. You were home, Amaka. He reached out, slowly, almost reverently, and brushed a stray curl from her face. She didn't flinch. Didn't pull away. Her heart beat a frantic rhythm inside her chest. She wanted to be angry. She wanted to scream, "You left." But all she could do was whisper, "I waited, you know. I know." And then, like the rain had conspired with fate, it happened, the kiss. It wasn't wild or desperate. It was soft, gentle, almost afraid. It was the kind of kiss you give someone when you know it's probably the last. Her fingers gripped his shirt for just a second too long before she pulled away. He stepped back, as if understanding the boundary had returned. "I should go," he said. She nodded. "Yes." He walked to the door, paused, and looked back. "I'm sorry, Amaka. For everything." She smiled, genuinely, this time. "Thank you for returning the key." He left. And Amaka stood there, hand to her lips, the taste of that lonely kiss lingering. It wasn't a kiss of rekindled romance. It was a farewell. The proper one. And for the first time in a long time, the apartment didn't feel so heavy. She turned back to the piano, sat down, and played. This time, it was a song of healing.